Both books are about well-known figures in BC. Did you feel a lot of pressure to live up to their legacy? What do you feel you owed them on a personal level? Question to both of you. Who wants to start off?
Trevor, do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Geoff. Yeah, I did. Very much so. I mean, again, kind of going back to the fact that this manuscript hadn't been published before, and it had been written close to a century before, and there, in a sense, there's just so much. All the time that had passed since it had been typed up in the early 20s. I kind of felt that pressure. I felt the pressure of people who knew Hamilton MacLang as a certain person. People who knew him as the naturalist may not have known him as a motorcycle naturalist, and so I felt it was a section of his life, you know, and it was a section where he approached it with a great deal of passion and drive. I think he saw himself in this particular niche as the motorcycle naturalist, and I definitely wanted to get it right. You know, so there are the various visits to the archives, and also reading his motorcycle travel stories that he published in magazines, because he wrote quite a few articles, as I've written, in various magazines. So I kind of had that kind of a personal connection with him there as well, you know, as a freelance writer, as somebody who is familiar to the sort of freelance mentality of pitching your wares and hoping that somebody will take up the story. You know, but he was doing quite well. I mean, he was doing so well as a freelance writer that it paid for his tuition at the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York, and allowed him to buy a motorcycle and paid for his room and board. So I have to say I admire him, his ability to be able to make such a good living at what he was doing. So I mean, all that to say that yes, I felt a certain degree of pressure to get it as right as I could.
Okay, thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, well, I take the opposite approach. I tried not to feel any such obligation, because I was writing a biography and a history, and I felt I had to be as objective about the facts as I could, and not be pressured into writing only the good stuff. So I deliberately tried to dig out whatever bad stuff I could as well, to try and provide a balanced picture. So I think if any pressure there was from the ghost of Dr. Inch, it would have been to be truthful to the facts, and not to try and gloss over any bad things or gloss over any problem areas, but to at least address them in some way, in some form. So I didn't feel I owed him more than the truth, more than objectivity. I think that's what a historian should be doing. I think historians work deductively, not inductively. That is, the primary obligation, in my mind anyway, is to work from the facts and then journey onwards to the conclusions, or to the assessment, or to the writing, and not start with the conclusion and then work backwards. Because the problem with working in that way is you tend to find only facts that support your conclusion, which is not how history, in my view, should be written. So objectivity is what I was aiming for, and I tried to be balanced. And whatever bad things there were, I tried to at least address in the book, because I think that's what historians should do.